let's take this first shot.
Let's do it.
Shot 1.
Oh my god.
Shot 2.
Where is it? Shot 3.
3. See, I'll admit the third one's a little rough.
It was a little rough.
Don't you do it.
My mouth is watering. That's the first side.
This is 3 shots in.
I'm fucking drunk.
Hello, this is 3 Shots In. I'm Jess.
I am Jake, and this is episode 26.
It is, and we are a podcast bringing you humor fueled by dark subject matter.
Sarcasm
And 3 shots of liquor.
of course, 3 shots of liquor.
Yeah.
So, today's episode, Jessica.
What
the
about
topic.
Yes, it's regret.
Yes, we're talking all about regrets here. You might have a tattoo on yourself that says no regrets, but that's false because you probably have another tattoo that you definitely regret. You know what I mean? Everyone's got a regrettable tattoo.
I feel like people usually regret the no regrets tattoo
Probably.
because they realize how dishonest it is.
It's a facade.
It is?
Hypocrisy, even.
Mm.
Well, next, we would like to thank, of course, our wonderful, amazing, beautiful, sexy, 9.5 out of 10 on the scale of looks patrons.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much to Mom and Dad, Danny and Terry, Sam, TJ, Ricky, David, Jeremy, and of course, Abria and Thomas. Thank you all so much.
Without you guys, it would not have been possible to pay off our recording equipment, which we just did recently. Thank you guys for that. And we're moving on to better things. Hopefully move on to, YouTube and other video platforms.
Yeah, like Pornhub or something.
I was not thinking of that.
Okay. But like OnlyFans. Remember we talked about having the foot cam underneath our table?
I understand. We did talk about that, but I don't think I'm good with that because, I have hair that grows on my big toes.
Just shave it.
It's not that I won't. It's that I won't consistently. And I don't want to have to think about it either.
Right. I get that. I shave my toes.
You do?
Yeah. I used to have hair on my toes. And one drunken night, Danny was like, "Can I shave your toes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And so she shaved them. And now, when the hair grows back, it itches and bothers me. So I just constantly shave it. So now I've told her, I was like, "What have you done to me?"
Yeah, the last time I tried to shave my toes, I cut the skin on my big foot knuckle.
How?
I don't know.
I mean,
I literally don't remember. All I remember is that eventually a scab formed on top of my toe.
Yeah, no, I just shred through. I don't even use my own razor. I grab Danny's and just rip through my toes real quick and we're done.
Makes sense.
Easy peasy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, shots. You had said that we took 3 shots, and of course we did.
That's what this podcast is called. It's named after 3 shots.
Well, what did we have shots of? Because it was surprisingly aggressive for me.
Oh, it was very nonchalant for me.
Interesting.
It was Hendrick's Neptunia Gin. They call it limited edition. We were talking about this on the live.
Yeah.
But
it's in their cabinet of curiosities.
Yeah, I think they call it limited edition because they're not sure if it'll be popular. So they just say that it's limited edition and then they'll take it off the market if it becomes unpopular.
Right.
To save themselves money. It's really good. It's a good gin. I liked it a lot.
I remember liking it more last time.
It was very smooth for me this time.
Not so much for me. It was a little painful, I guess.
It burned.
I did fuck up on the second shot. My mouth filled with water. I hesitated. It was not good.
Hesitation instantly ruins any shot.
I agree.
Any, alcohol or otherwise.
Oh, like bullets?
Sure.
What, like your HPV shots?
Maybe.
Okay. Don't hesitate.
I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know for all of you medical professionals. Don't hesitate when you're jabbing someone with some HPV.
You think medical professionals listen to our podcast?
Oh, I know it.
You do?
Yeah. If not right now, then they will in the future when our podcast is big number 1. We're going to beat Joe Rogan. Obviously, we're going to be bigger and better. Joe Rogan will be a guest on ours.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're not going to be on his show. He'll be a guest on our show.
I think if we're consistent, we will eventually achieve, mediocre fame.
Mediocre fame is all I'm looking for.
And he's legitimately famous. I do think mediocre fame, though, is on our horizon. I had a dream last night. I think it's because I woke up at 6:30 in the morning and like looked at my phone for the time and also saw like random notifications off of stuff. And one of the notifications I got was from either Jake Paul or Logan Paul made a music video.
Oh, one of them does music, yes.
I think it was an iFunny notification I got about that. And so I saw their name, I saw a picture of their face, and then I just went back to sleep.
Okay.
Which meant they were in my head. So I had a dream.
The Paul brothers.
I did. Well, no. I had a dream that I was in some kind of situation where like I met them at an event or something.
Right.
I had no idea which Paul it was. Jake Paul? Logan Paul? I don't know anything about either of them.
So you called him Mr. Paul?
I don't remember what I called him. All I know is that I offended him. Whatever I said, they were like, whoever he was super offended by what I had to say. And it was very unpleasant.
Yeah, well, when we're at the Met Gala in a couple of years, I'm sure.
You think we're going to go to the Met Gala?
Yeah, everyone will ask us who we're wearing, and, we'll give them some bougie, like, French name and stuff. When we go, eventually, we will specifically diss the Pauls.
Just because of my dream?
Yes.
Because they dissed me in my dream?
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
So fuck them.
Okay.
Fuck the Pauls.
Okay.
Well, for our drinks tonight, I have to finish the Bud Light Next that I bought. I only got a couple left, so I'm working on that. That's what I'm drinking.
I've got a Cayman Jack margarita over here.
Those are delicious.
It's a canned cocktail.
Uh-huh.
I finished it already. It's empty.
Yeah, they're very delicious. I love those.
Really good.
Yeah, they make great Moscow mules.
They do?
They make great mojitos.
Mm-hmm.
And palomas.
Palomas.
Very delicious, all of them.
Yep.
Highly recommend, actually.
Very good.
Sponsor of the show, even.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Well, I'm sure they're trying to contact us. So
They probably are. I mean, who knows?
yeah. Well, updates. We didn't do updates last week because we had 2 guests.
It was busy.
So we got 2 weeks to update in 10 words or less.
Dang.
You know what? Because it's 2 weeks, 12 words.
Oh, that is so generous.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Ecstatic for property ownership and home ownership. New studio, more space. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty detailed, honestly. 12 words really makes a difference, apparently.
It does. I've always thought this. I've just always been persecuted for thinking this.
You've cheated your way into 12 words.
I have been unfairly persecuted for thinking 12 words rather than 10 is better.
Well, only this week because we didn't have last week, so that's why you got 2 additional words.
I guess.
Property ownership? Is that here in Texas?
Yes. It will be here in the Tyler area, perhaps Smith County, maybe. Not sure. We're kind of just playing it by ear. It's going to depend on what we can afford and what's available at the time. You know?
Mm-hmm.
All we know is that it has to happen soon. We're just in a situation where it must, you know?
Right.
We can't continue to live without more space.
Yeah, you got 2 boys.
Uh-huh.
And they're wild.
Yes.
Got a big-ass dog.
Mm-hmm.
You got a fucking horse in the house. That's you, by the way.
I thought you were talking about Tally.
No, you.
She's very horse-like.
You're the horse.
I disagree. Anyway, we, essentially only have 2 bedrooms in this house.
Right, because we have the studio for the other one.
Exactly. But we also are having Terry's mom move in, that type of thing. And it's not like, an in-laws moving into your house. It's really not like that. She's really amazing. She's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The sweetest person I know, just about. So we're happy that she's moving in with us. We just need the space in order to have that happen,
Right.
And so, luckily, that's going to happen in the next few months.
Well, that's very exciting.
I think so too.
Very exciting. I would have thrown in a yeah at the end of that as well.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What's going on?
All
Wedding
right, so
planning?
For me. Oh, no, not really.
Job updates? Something like that? Anything?
Nothing big. You're going to hear it. Maybe if you were just patient.
Oh.
I can give you my 12 words, okay?
Okay, fine.
Have a lot of shows to watch. Side hustle is picking up.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's exciting.
So, first of all, got a lot of shows to watch. We got Stranger Things, Part 2 just came out. Got to watch that whole thing. I have...
The Boys is putting out new episodes all the time.
That's right. I got The Boys that I'm watching. I just started watching the 3rd season of Succession. which is a fantastic show on HBO.
Is that one with that Macaulay Culkin brother that isn't Macaulay?
That isn't Macaulay, who
Yeah.
was like having phone sex with an older woman.
He was called a dirty slime puppy.
Yeah, and he was just wanking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I love it. And so yeah, we got all of those going on, and then on top of that, I have a little side hustle that I've been doing, and there's a lot of ideas going into the mix and into the works, and ideally, this weekend may prove to be nice for that side hustle.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't want to really go into it
Sure.
too much. I don't want anyone to know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
because it's totally not feet pics on OnlyFans,
Sure.
and I totally am not doing like a promotion this weekend or something. If you know, you know. Okay,
Okay.
and we'll just leave it at that. So,
I will just say your pedicure looked great today.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was $100.
It was great.
I mean, that's with the tip, obviously,
Sure.
but wow.
I thought they did a great job.
Okay, I will never get a pedicure. We got to shut that down right now because I don't want anyone touching my feet.
I thought you wanted to continue on the joke that you had an OnlyFans.
I
just
was.
feet pics.
I was, but I can't do that because I don't want anyone touching my feet. So the OnlyFans is something else. It's my fucking
Or thinking about touching your feet.
ankles or something. Yeah, it's ankle porn.
Okay.
Anyway, well, it is time that we spin our wheel.
It
and
is.
if I recall, this wheel was filled by TJ.
Pretty much exclusively.
Yeah. All right. This is the first of the TJs. You live in an old-timey western town. What is your occupation?
I know what it would be as of now.
Yeah. A bar wench?
No. I would shoe horses.
You're a horseshoe
I'm
maker?
a horse shoer.
You're a horseshoe cobbler?
Yeah.
You're a cobbler for horses?
Yeah. Because I kind of just roam around YouTube. One of the things they recommend to me is like horse hooves, goat hooves, cow hooves
Uh-huh.
that have been like cracked or like are all dry and crusty or are really dirty or infected.
Uh-huh.
And like they'll cut them and they'll shoot pus out and stuff.
Okay.
It's just fascinating to me to watch.
Is it they recommend those videos because they're showing you how to take care of your own hooves?
No, I don't have hooves.
Because you're a horse?
No, I have a regular person body. That's how I'm able to speak like this.
Okay.
And like, put headphones on and speak into a microphone and sit in a chair, that type of thing.
Okay. Those are fair arguments,
Mhm.
but you still have hooves and you're a horse.
I don't. You
So.
can see that I have fingers. That's how I was able to hold your phone earlier when we went live on Instagram
Uh-huh.
at 3 Shots In podcast. You remember?
A little fuzzy on the details.
Well, I remember very clearly that I had regular hands.
Because I think you were maybe like two hoove in it,
No.
You know,
wasn't
holding it
that.
with your two
No, it
hooves.
wasn't like that.
Because you don't have thumbs.
I don't recall that. I have thumbs.
Interesting.
To my
Well-
memory, I have
Well,
thumbs.
so Jessica's making horseshoes and applying horseshoes
Mhm.
on horses, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, like, I think, everyone who thinks of the West and like, oh, what job would you want to do? Like, oh, like, I'd want to be the sheriff or whatever. Absolutely not.
No.
I'm going to be the shady casino owner. Like the one that makes people disappear. And like, I happen to also own like a pig farm.
You just have
or
a bunch
something.
of like green felted tables for poker and craps.
Oh yeah, and we only use, we use loaded dice when people start getting really drunk and shit.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh yeah, really shady casino owner. That would be me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my casino, obviously, I'd have, I wouldn't call them wenches because you were a little above that. So they're bar maidens who would be handing out drinks and beverages. All of my poker dealers would also be in on the action.
I don't know that in the Old West they called women in saloons wenches. I think it's like a European thing.
What'd you call them then?
I don't know.
Okay,
Whores?
Jesus, Jessica, my workers, my maidens, are not prostitutes. Okay? Now look, whatever they do on their own time, that's up to them.
You
do
just
what
call
you gotta
them
do.
a barmaid.
Maiden.
Sure. But they're probably a maid.
Maiden, and they're strapped.
They clean things, don't they?
They're strapped. They got nines on them.
Every one of them has a gun?
Has a Colt just
That's
right on their hip.
That's expensive. Wow.
I know, and they shoot people.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've got real cutthroat saloon over there.
Yeah.
Everyone is well behaved.
That's what the name is. Cutthroats. Cutthroats
Saloon.
Saloon and Casino.
Nice.
Yeah, not a hotel. Go stay somewhere else.
I see. You don't have any rooms for board.
No.
You just go there for fun.
Yeah, if you stay the night, it's because we're killing you.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's because you're already dead,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, so you're sleeping in our basement.
Under the ground.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, because I'm shady. So
Mm.
that would be me. That's what I would do. I think I'd kill it.
I
Oh,
think
oh.
you do a great job.
Yeah. Well, now, Jessica, it is time that I talk about some regrets.
That's true. You're going first this time.
I am going to go first. And if you recall, I said that I would be talking about criminals, specifically thieves,
Yes.
who regret doing what they did. Now, these first two, it's going to make a lot of sense very quickly why they regret doing what they did.
It will be evident.
Very clear.
Okay.
Yes. So, there's a man named Fred. He's a 95-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, former veteran. He fought in the Pacific. So, like, World War II, was out in, like, Japan and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, and he lived in his home with his 51-year-old daughter, Mary. Okay, now someone decided to break into this home and rob from Fred and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred he told authorities later that this man entered the home and was very angry. He got up into Fred's face, nose to nose, and was yelling at him. He threatened to kill Fred. He
Whoa.
threatened to kill Fred's dog
Oh my goodness.
if he didn't hand over his wallet. Interesting that you break into a house to steal a wallet, but you know, it is what it is. Well, Fred said, quote, "I wasn't scared. I was so damn mad." So, the 95-year-old Pacific veteran wrestled the burglar to the ground.
Oh.
The burglar is named Gary, by the way. Fred was fighting Gary on the floor, and then Mary ran downstairs
Oh.
and also began fighting the thief.
Whoa.
That's right. So his 51-year-old daughter, Mary, then took after Gary because Gary got up and ran away. Mary chased him for 6 blocks, and she caught him because he apparently got stuck while jumping fences.
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget to mention that Mary had to jump over multiple fences while chasing Gary?
Keep up with him?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That's a terrifying family.
51 years old jumping fences.
Holy shit.
Well, she did catch him, and she says that it was just reflexes that she guessed it rubbed off on her from her dad. It was just reaction. She did it. The guy was caught. They called police. Police arrested him. And,
Wow.
and I'm assuming Gary regrets going into that house.
If I was Gary, I'd regret that like big time.
Oh yeah, yeah. That what an easy you fucked up robbing a 95-year-old man. You know,
Would you? I mean, how could he have known?
he couldn't have known.
Sounds like a sure thing to me.
right. So next one, Willie Murphy is an 82-year-old woman. Okay, she lived in New York and she owned a home. This is the home that a 29-year-old man decided to enter. Now, he was apparently knocking on her door,
Okay.
asking her to help and call an ambulance, that he needs to come inside, and
Which is a classic thing to say
right.
if you're just someone trying to break in.
that's right. And Willie was not convinced. So she told
Good
this
girl.
man, she told him to fuck off,
Good.
essentially. He was relentless and just kept pounding on the door. So eventually, he ended up breaking into the home and coming in anyway.
Oh.
Now, what this man didn't know about Willie is that she is an award-winning bodybuilder.
Oh.
Yes. So, now we're going to talk about what happened once he entered, okay? But first, we're going to give you just a couple of details about Willie. So, she's very small. Okay, I'll show you a little picture of her. There she is right there.
Okay.
She's a very small woman. She's about 5 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
She only weighs about 105 pounds.
She's a little lady.
Right, but she can deadlift 225.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I don't think I could deadlift 225
No.
right now. So, she had already called police when the man had entered her home, and what I'll be reading now are quotes from Willie when she was being interviewed. So she said, quote, "I heard a loud noise. I'm thinking, what the heck was that? The young man was in my home. He broke the door. So I picked up the table and I went to work on him. The table broke.
She beat him with her table?
She beat him with a table.
Oh my god!
And the table broke. And when he's down, I'm jumping on him. I grabbed the shampoo. Don't know where that came from. Guess what? He's still on the ground. In his face. All of it. The whole thing.
The shampoo.
The shampoo. I got the broom. He's pulling the broom. I'm hitting him with the broom. He picked the wrong house to break into, is what Willie said.
Fucking clearly. Damn.
Yes. So she had held him down and apparently was keeping him from crawling and getting up and walking away from her house. So she was pinning him down
Yeah.
there while the police were on
Like,
their
you're
way.
not going anywhere.
I know. Obviously, she was already like a local celebrity because she's an 81-year-old tiny
Bodybuilder?
bodybuilder,
Uh-huh.
which is crazy impressive. But now, obviously, she is even more famous. And right after that, she went on to win a weightlifting competition at the Maplewood Family YMCA.
Well, great.
Yes.
Congratulations, Willie.
So those were two short, fun, obviously regrettable decisions.
Yes.
Now, this one is a little crazier. And by crazier, I mean not as fun.
Those were your two funny ones.
Yeah.
We're moving into your more serious one.
Yeah. Craig Godineau turned 50 about 2 years ago. But he had spent almost half of his life in prison. That's where he turned 50. Because in the year 2000, he committed a crime.
Okay.
And he was punished for it with 5 life sentences.
Oh, that's a bad crime.
Yes, consecutive. So, we're going to get into the crime just a little bit. So, he didn't do this alone, okay? His friend, John Taylor, used to work at a Wendy's,
Okay.
okay? Now, John Taylor was fired from this Wendy's and he was fucking pissed.
Okay.
So
He really enjoyed his job at Wendy's.
apparently he did. And so he had talked to Godineau and they apparently agreed to go and rob that Wendy's.
That's not
Okay.
so great.
They had met each other. They worked as security guards in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh.
Right, this is in New York, and I think this happened in Bronx. So, like I had said before, Taylor, he was the assistant manager at this Wendy's, and he was fired. After only knowing each other for about a month, they decided to go through with this plan to rob the Wendy's. They put on gloves, put on masks, and went into the store.
So they took it seriously, I see.
Yes, they did. Things did not go as planned. Okay, so when they went into the store, okay, there were 7 employees. One was a manager, and there were 6 other staff members.
Yeah.
I said there were 7 employees. I think there were only 6. Anyway, they immediately moved all of them into the freezer. They duct taped them and put them on their knees,
That's
and
awful.
they put bags over their head so that they could rob the Wendy's and that.
Couldn't be identified.
Right. Things did not go according to plan because the manager managed to break free from his duct taped hands.
Okay.
And he apparently had shouted that he couldn't breathe. He had swung at Godineau, one of the robbers, and Godineau, off of impulse, hit him back.
Oh.
Now that he hit this manager, John Taylor now reached over, grabbed his gun, and put a bullet in his head. Yes. Oh, I said his head. This was a woman. Sorry. She was a female manager.
Okay.
So he shot her in the head.
Okay.
Right then and there. John and Godineau begin kind of fighting because
Because-
Godineau was like, "Oh, dude, I don't want to kill people."
I don't want to kill people in a Wendy's. That's not worth it.
Yeah. What is
Okay.
going on? So they begin fighting. They're wrestling on the ground now. John Taylor gets a hold of the gun. He cocks it back and he points it at Godineau and tells him that if he hits him again, he's going to shoot him. So then he said that he needs to finish doing what he was doing. They need to finish up their work. So Godineau was like, "What do you mean, finish? Like, we're done. We got the money. Like, we're going to leave." John Taylor was not convinced because since they had the altercation, he now wanted to make sure that there were no witnesses. So Godineau allegedly closed his eyes, and when he opened his eyes, everyone was dead.
That's his story.
That's his story.
He closed his eyes and suddenly.
Everyone was dead. So he had shot five Wendy's employees on their knees in the back of their heads.
Oh, that's terrible.
Luckily, 2 lived.
From the headshots?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. So, one of the people that lived, Johnson, had said that that story that he had told was absolutely false. There was no fighting in the freezer. They did not wrestle each other. There was simple executions. And he said that he knew this because he was the last one in line.
Okay.
So,
He or she.
right, Johnson. So when Johnson was shot in the back of the head, the bullet managed to travel perfectly down the middle of his brain, did not hurt either lobe, okay? Then shot down in his nasal cavity
Mm-hmm.
and came out of his mouth.
Oh my god.
Hit nothing that was that important some fucking how. Like,
Wow.
insane. Another, this one is a man, Castro, was also shot in the back of the head, right? He also lived because apparently the bullet, like, went in and out one cheek. So, you know.
It was off to the side. Didn't
Yeah.
do enough damage
Correct.
for him to, like, be incapacitated permanently.
Yes. Pretty insane. Gotta know. Now, the reason why I brought him up in this whole regret story,
Yeah.
he has yet to say he regrets doing what he did because he said that he is not guilty of it.
He's denying.
He closed his eyes and opened his eyes, and everyone was dead.
And it was done. It could have easily been someone else.
It could have easily been John Taylor, correct. What he is regretful of is that he took a plea deal. So he took the plea deal, which was 5 consecutive life sentences. Now, he would have been tried for the death penalty,
Oh.
but apparently his low IQ score made the prosecutor give him the plea deal of 5 life terms.
Yeah.
So apparently, I don't know what IQ numbers mean, but he had an IQ of 70. Is that
Sounds pretty low.
low? Okay.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a low score, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so obviously they got caught and arrested, and then they were both tried and went to prison and all the whole nine. They'll be in prison forever.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to know what they made off with?
What did they make off with?
So combined, they had stolen $2,400. Right.
So they attempted to kill 5 people.
Attempted to
6
kill
people.
6 people, succeeded on 4 of them.
And their reward,
Was $2,400. Now, Taylor was the
like
mastermind.
$1,200 for
Right.
each of them.
Well, hold on. Taylor was the mastermind, so he got the bigger percentage. So Gotta Know received $300
Ah,
for his actions. Oh, and he also gave him a gold coin. Now that was special because this was the dollar gold coins that were printed in the year 2000. So he remembers it.
wow.
Yeah. So eventually, Gotta Know he does try to redeem himself a little bit. He does talks to like kids and stuff about like the street life is rough.
Yeah.
Like, avoid it because it sucks. You will end up just like me. You'll kill 5 people for $300.
Consequences.
Consequences. And so he had said, this is a quote from him, and his latest thing was try to stay off the streets and try to get a job, try to set up a life for yourself, and set up a bank account. He didn't have any of those apparently. So he's trying to make up for it a little bit. But this whole thing is known as the Wendy's Massacre.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean, I'm glad they're in prison.
I know.
I hope that they are able to atone in some way.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's crazy is that he hasn't said that he regrets doing his actions. He regrets taking the plea deal because he thinks that if he didn't, he might have been able to fight the charges and get off.
He thinks he should have fought it,
Mm-hmm.
even though he admitted that he was guilty over it.
Yes,
Wow.
I know. That was one of the things that I was trying to like find and talk about was people who regret taking plea deals.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most notable ones was Lori Loughlin.
Sounds so familiar.
She was the aunt in Full House,
Oh.
who is currently under investigation for
Bribery.
bribery and fraud and mail stuff, I guess, because
She-
she paid her way for a kid to get into an Ivy League school.
Right.
So she's currently being investigated. They have not gone to trial or anything, but they had offered her a plea deal, and her husband declined it. Right? They didn't want to go to jail, so they said no, and they declined it. Now another celebrity who was also in the mix, I forget her name, it was like Thurmond or something.
Uma.
No, not that famous, but like I didn't recognize the name.
Okay.
That celebrity who did the exact same thing took a plea deal and did 14 days in jail.
Wow.
Now, 14 days is not a lot,
No.
but they had very, very little evidence against her. They have a lot of evidence against Lori Loughlin,
Mm-hmm.
and she did a lot more apparently. So they were looking like, basically everyone is saying the only way that she does not do at least a year in jail is if she's found innocent.
Okay.
So she was probably given a plea deal of like 3 months in jail,
With a lot of probation, probably.
and she declined it, obviously, and now she's looking at years.
Oof. Oof.
And her husband looking at years.
Dang.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Very
Can you
wild
imagine
stuff.
how much like a piece of shit you'd feel if you were her kid who was bribed for in this situation?
That sucks. You feel like you made it, and you don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe
Well,
you didn't.
That's just it. Like, did they even wait for that opportunity to see if you earned your way in?
I mean, I guess the kid knows what their SAT scores were. So if they...
That
if their
doesn't always mean anything.
But I'm saying if their SAT scores were shit, yet they still managed to get a full ride to fucking Yale,
Then you know
that
for
looks
sure.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is a thing happening now. And then the last thing, I'm going to say this really quickly. I had found a story that I thought was amazing, but I thought it was too good to be true, and eventually I discovered it was. But the story went like this. So there were two men who broke into a house in Florida.
Okay.
Okay, and of course it was Florida.
Florida
And
men.
living in this house was a recent parolee.
Okay.
Okay, 6'7" man,
Oh wow.
weighing 300 pounds, and was pure muscle.
Okay.
Okay, so that's already not looking good
Yeah.
for these two men. So, in addition to all of that, he was also known as the Wolfman, which was apparently Florida's most prolific gay sex predator.
Oh my God, he raped men?
He was a serial rapist of men, yes. And so, in the story, the people who broke into his house, he had obviously captured them and raped and tortured them for 5 days before someone reported it.
Ah.
And then the story ended that these two men went to where they were arrested for burglary charges, and the Wolfman was also arrested for, rape and torture. But then I was like, there's no way this is real.
That sounds wild.
And I found that it was not real.
Okay.
And if you give me a second though, I'm gonna show you the article, because just looking at it is incredible. Let's see, this was posted in the paper, and like I said, it did end up being a fake story, but some newspaper really did post this. Do you see him?
Bummed for burgling. Hopeless thieves break into home of America's most prolific gay sex predator. Oh my God, it looks like a...
He looks like a Russian, WWE fighter.
Yeah. In
He
tidy
looks
whities.
insane.
In wearing tidy whities and a
And
lazy boy.
Wearing tidy whities, sitting in his chair with dog tags and a cigar in his hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be true because that's awesome, Like,
In a terrible, morbid way.
they broke into his house. They deserve something. I don't know if 5 days of rape is what they deserved, but that's what they got.
If it was true, which I guess it's not.
I know. I was very bummed. I found that Snopes had proved it false.
Uh-huh.
I don't trust Snopes all that much, so I did my
Sure.
own digging on top of that, and it is in fact false.
Right.
So,
It's kind of like we played a recording of the bloop
yes.
in an episode with Katie.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out super fake. And you kind of called that one. You were like, you can't make sounds like that underwater unless you have air inside of lungs.
Right.
And vocal cords, like whales.
Whales and dolphins
Yeah.
make sounds.
Right.
Or you have giant things moving
Mm-hmm.
that create sounds.
Sure.
Like earthquakes and shit.
Sure. But that sounded like the voice of something very big.
Yes.
The recording that we played, and it turned out that one was fake.
Ah,
Yeah. I
That's
had
a bummer.
a listener reach out about it, that it was a fake recording. And so it took me a while to get around to it, but I did look into it, and it's true, it was fake. And the real bloop, it only sounded like a bloop when it was sped up. It was because it was giant fucking ice caps falling into water.
that makes sense.
But when they sped it up and the noise got higher, they heard the same sound as if a small piece of ice fell into water.
Well, yeah, good, because if the bloop was real, we would all be dead.
We would all die.
Yes, because if something that big was able to make that much noise that deep in the ocean, we're fucked. It's Godzilla.
It's the Leviathan.
Yeah.
We're gonna die.
We're fucked.
We will all be swallowed whole.
So, good thing that was fake.
Hmm.
Well, is it break time?
It is. Yes.
Are we gonna break?
Yeah. Got a breakdown.
Ready for some instant regrets?
Yeah. I mean, that's the episode, right?
Obviously, I tried to find like regret stories on Reddit because I figured they'd be dark, but they were all actually just lame and cringe. So
Yeah, I saw that too. It was more like life regret. I had a child too young and blah blah blah.
yeah, I married the wrong man.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm like, oh fuck you.
Whatever.
Go be with someone else then.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Anyway, so here's a video of a man who is messing with a little piglet.
Oh. Okay.
There's no sound,
Oh, it's a little piglet.
and then Mama
Oh
comes
shit! Oh god! Did she bite him?
in. She bit his ass. So, for whatever reason, this man, probably on drugs, is throwing rocks at a specific car as they're driving by. Throws one rock.
That kind of looked like he just hurled randomly, and because he hit one.
Yeah, like he just picked a car,
Yeah.
hit it, and now he picked up a second rock and he's throwing
He's
it at
throwing it.
him because the guy stopped, and now he's
He
decided.
hit him.
He
He
did.
stopped a second time.
Now he's decided to turn around and make things right.
Oh no! Oh my god! That's not a proportionate response.
Yeah, so he hits him with his car, and the man does like the flips, like the straight body flips in the air.
The ragdoll flip.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
pretty terrible.
Yeah, when a crackhead throws rocks at your car, it's not proportionate to run him over.
So here's a couple. They're clearly celebrating their wedding.
Yes,
right?
she's in a wedding dress. He's in a suit.
He's in a suit, and they're doing this like intimate dance. Okay.
Oh.
And he's about to dance for her. She's sitting on a chair. He's probably gonna do like a little lap dance or whatever, be real sexy.
Uh-huh. Ooh, there's a laser show. Oh. Oops.
And he goes to swing his leg over her, and he just Seagal kicks her directly in the jaw.
Right in the side of her face.
Regrets.
Everybody's got him.
We all got some regrets.
Oh yeah.
Big regrets, little regrets, tattoos that you regret.
Relationships.
Yeah. Maybe you're not a patron of our show.
You're missing out on 3 Shot Cinema. Maybe you regret that. I would regret it if I were you.
Yeah. You know who regrets nothing?
Who?
Our sponsors. We would like to thank Tilted Tinker, Woodcraft and Wizardry. Tilted Tinker is a company that makes woodcraft products. They make plaques with all sorts of hilarious sayings.
Lots of sarcasm and underhanded insults. All of that dry humor is mixed in with Dungeons and Dragons accessories.
That's right. And everything is assembled by hand, all here in the United States.
Made in the USA, and it is family owned. They are close friends of ours. That's the most I'll say.
Could be anyone.
Could be anyone. But they are fantastic, and we do love their products. We own many of them. I have personally purchased several items.
Oh yeah, when I get drunk, I buy a lot of their shit.
It's pretty great. You can visit their website at tiltedtinker.com. You can reach out to them at info@tiltedtinker.com. They are Tilted Tinker on all their social medias.
Nice. You should go and you should buy something, listener, from their website because they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they love us just like we love you.
Jacob, we also have some discount codes from Tilted Tinker.
We do. They were so amazing and kind to provide exclusive 3 Shots In promo codes for their website, which give 15% off your entire purchase.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and they provided 2 promo codes.
You can make your purchase using the discount code HORSICA, HORSEICA. That's horse, ICA.
Or you can use Jacob Maguire. Jacob is spelled Jacob, Maguire Maguire.
Wow.
If you support Jessica more than you support me, use code Horsica. If you like me more than you like that bitch, go ahead and use
Whoa.
Jacob Maguire.
Jacob, are you in the know?
I mean, I'm in the know, but I'm also in the No Republic. That's right. We are sponsored by the No Republic. They are a clothing brand who gives 20% of all proceeds to mental health awareness and suicide prevention in specifically high schools and colleges all around the United States.
I didn't know that.
Their clothing is unique and everything is done in-house. I heard that they ventured with a third party and that third party didn't work out. So now, that's right, everything is crafted by hand, shipped with love and care. Yeah, they're an awesome company. They always give back. And you can go on their website, The No Republic. Again, that's with a K. TheNoRepublic.com.
Great customer service, too. I reached out to them with a problem, and they got back to me right away.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Normally people take within 24 hours, but how soon did they get back?
4 hours.
Whoa. Break is done.
Break is over.
Now it is time to spin the wheel a second time, the
And
TJ wheel.
And so I will.
No, gimme. I'm
No,
supposed to
I
read it.
want to read it sometimes.
No.
You do it every single time. Why
Well,
can't
it's
I
my
read
job.
it? I'm going to read it just once at least.
Fine.
Okay, so this TJ question says, you're a mascot for a sports team. What animal are you? I guess that would depend on the team, wouldn't it?
No, I think we get to create our teams. I don't know exactly what I am. An ostrich. Yes.
Why would you be that?
Because I'm gonna go out in the field, my big ass ostrich mascot thing. I'm just gonna sprint just from one end to the next. The crowd's gonna go wild. I'm gonna have a t-shirt cannon, shooting the shirt. I'd love it. Ostrich for sure.
An ostrich.
Oh, maybe once a game. I roam around the stadium, right? And I drop an ostrich egg, and whoever gets the egg wins $500 or something, right?
That's kind of fun.
Right? I think that'd be a blast.
That's
and
really fun.
I just sprint just everywhere. Yeah. It's a very exhausting job. I imagine it's 6 figures at least.
High energy. Whoa, you think it's a 6-figure job?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be living on nothing but Red Bull and meth probably. I don't know.
Like an off-road trucker.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I guess if I was going to be a mascot, I'd want to be something that isn't sexy so that I could walk around in a sexy way and it would be funny.
Okay. But you'd be a horse, right?
No, never.
I mean, you've already got it down.
I'd be in a costume, so you couldn't tell what I look like underneath.
But that might be funnier if we have a horse in a horse costume.
No, disagree.
I think that would be ironic.
Not a horse, so it wouldn't be funny. 'Cause
Whatever.
I'm just a regular person.
Anyway, what would you be then? A whale? Because whales don't walk. That's kind of funny.
That would be pretty funny, actually.
Perhaps you'd be a slow animal, like a sloth or a koala.
I was thinking about it. Thought about a frog.
Oh, a frog.
Imagine a lady frog that's really ugly and has warty bumps and stuff, but still has lipstick on it.
And every game, someone has to kiss you
Uh-huh.
to try to turn you into a princess.
Sure. Or I could be a lady walrus with a mustache and everything, the whiskers, the big old walrus whiskers,
Okay.
and the tusks, but
And
I
you'd-
still have lipstick on because it's
I would
funny.
imagine if you were a walrus, then you would have to do at least one dance with the cheerleaders or something.
I changed my mind. I don't want to be a female. I would like to look like a dude.
Okay. You'd still have to dance with the cheerleaders or something.
Oh, I know, but if I was a man, I would require less movement.
True. Except you're going to be a flyer in the walrus suit. So
I highly doubt it.
just launch you.
They're not that strong. Can't throw me that high.
Maybe the wolf man's going to do it. Big ass wolf man.
Maybe that's what I'll be.
Just a
Be
wolf
something
man.
something creepy.
Yeah.
My gimmick is that I pop up behind people in the bleachers, scare them.
You're like a mummy.
I make them spill their popcorn and their soda, and before they get pissed, I give them $500.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Right?
That'd be very fun. What's an asshole animal?
I mean, a lot of them. I feel like.
No, but an explicitly asshole, like a seagull.
But with crazy PCP eyes.
Yeah, you're a PCP seagull. you just run around with your arms stretched out, right, like a bird, and then you just slap people's shit out of their hands, and then with the other hand just throw a crumpled $100 bill at them.
So it's barely worth it, almost not.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to get assaulted by the seagull.
I think that'd be funny. Yeah, that's funny. I'd do that.
So we're both birds.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought you would definitely be a horse.
I wouldn't lay any eggs. I'd like steal snacks and frighten people.
I've never seen a seagull lay an egg, right? I mean, I've seen ostriches lay eggs, like on like the Discovery Channel.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I just know they exist because someone holds up a really big egg and they're like, this egg came from an ostrich.
Yeah.
But I've never seen one fall out of like its cloaca.
It's cloaca.
That's the name of the hole that the
God.
eggs come out of.
You're
What?
so fucking lame. God, no.
That's what it's called.
You know what? Thank you for that. I loved learning all about cloacas today.
Yeah.
Fucking multi-purpose holes. Thank you. What you can do for me now, though, is get into your story.
Get into my stories.
I believe it is about regrets.
It is about regrets. That is the topic.
Yes, that's why I hoped you. That's why. Fuck you. That's why I hoped that you remained in topic, in theme.
I did.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I would have regretted that if you didn't.
You would have regretted my choices?
Yes. Just like I kind of every day regret having a podcast with you.
That's interesting.
Because if I was alone, I wouldn't regret anything because it'd be awesome and amazing.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it would be.
I don't think so. I don't think you'd do well alone talking to yourself.
Yeah. Not only is it 3 shots in, right?
Uh-huh.
But I would also take a mystery pill at the beginning of every episode.
No one knows what the pill is.
No one knows
Neither
what it is.
do you.
I don't know. Is it Tylenol? Could be. Ecstasy? Maybe. Adderall? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know what any of these pills look like, Jessica.
Maybe it's just sugar.
Maybe it's just a sugar pill, right? Maybe I pretend like I'm like on a trip, but there was nothing there. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My show would be better than yours.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, we're moving into my notes. So I have 3 stories, like I said, very much like yours in that the first 2 are funny and then it gets, kind of heavy.
Yeah, kind of not so chill.
It gets pretty unchill at the end,
Yeah.
but it's at least interesting
Do you
all the
think-
way through.
Do you think it is less chill than the Wendy's Massacre?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's on par with the Wendy's Massacre?
No, it's less chill.
Oh, it's way less chill?
It is a lot less chill.
Oh, no. Okay.
No one did anything on purpose, though, so I don't know, maybe not in some other people's opinions.
Okay.
Who knows?
But like body count wise?
It's a lot chill.
It's a lot less chill.
It's a lot less chill.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start slow.
All right.
Give me the fun stuff.
Well, first off, we're going to begin with NASA.
What is your topics about? You said you're doing like historical.
Historical, roughly.
Okay. So is it NASA regretting that they did like 18 Apollo missions and like 1 worked?
No.
Okay.
No, surprisingly, it's not about that kind of regret.
Okay.
Anyway, so NASA spent $125 million
Okay.
building the Mars orbiter.
Okay. When was this? Because I don't think we have anything orbiting
It was in the
Mars.
90s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in the 90s that they built it. I don't know how long it took to build it exactly, and I'm fairly certain that its only purpose was to orbit the Earth, but keep pace with Mars so that it was watching it always.
Interesting.
I think that was its purpose. And here's why. Because they launched it in 1999,
Okay.
only for it to be destroyed when it went up too high, passed through the upper atmosphere,
Oh no.
and it turned out that the reason this happened was because one team of engineers used the metric system, and another team of engineers used the English system.
The imperial system.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow. All math teachers everywhere. A big I told you so.
Yeah.
Because, they always give you, like, takeaway points if you don't write the little inches at the end or
yeah,
whatever.
uh-huh.
My physics teacher would be saying, I told you so to NASA.
Well, sure. If I worked in NASA, I would have listened.
You would have put inches or meters or millimeters or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is a big fuck up.
That's a huge one.
$125
I did the
million
math, by the way.
fuck up.
I converted, like, through inflation, how much 125 million is now.
Uh-huh.
And it's pushing 300 million
Oh
now.
my god. That is insane.
That's an expensive fuck up.
That's insane. I would have fired that team.
I have no idea what happened to them.
Absolutely, I would have fired them because being in charge of that team, I'd probably have to resign, and there's no way I'm not firing them first.
Who knows?
Absolutely.
All right, so that's just the warm up.
Okay.
Moving
okay.
into the next one, it's a little longer and a little juicier.
Okay.
This one definitely qualifies as historical. No arguments. We're going to the Austro-Turkish War of 1787 through 1791. This was a war between Austria and Turkey.
Okay.
Mhm.
A while ago, we still had like colonial ships and shit.
Sure.
Oh, I guess they didn't need ships because they're landlocked. So, yeah.
Very long time ago.
But like muskets and shit, and cannons.
We're specifically zeroing in on the Battle of Karansabis.
Okay. I've never heard of such battle.
I'm sure you have not, because I guarantee if you did, you would recognize this immediately. It's right up your alley.
Okay.
By that I mean it's one you would definitely be interested in learning about.
Well, during that time period,
Mhm.
nothing else matters in the world other than the United States.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, one night, some Austrian scouts were dispatched across a river. They discovered no enemies when they
Okay.
crossed this river and did their, scouting duties.
Sure.
But what they did find were gypsies selling schnapps,
Schnapps. Like the
Jugs.
alcohol.
jugs of schnapps, and they bought them.
They bought the enemy's gypsies schnapps.
They purchased the gypsies' schnapps
Interesting.
and began to drink.
I would be reluctant to partake in the schnapps, probably.
Okay, well,
I don't know that I trust gypsy schnapps.
we'll see if that's wise or not. Anyway, they began to drink without returning to camp or telling anybody what happened to them. They got totally wasted.
Ah,
So very soon afterwards, I guess, the commander of the camp they had been sent from got worried that they had been gone so long, and so he sent some infantry after them to check up. So these infantry crossed the river, went looking for them, and they found them drinking schnapps.
nice.
They were pissed.
So did they join them and start
They
drinking schnapps?
demanded that they share the schnapps.
Amazing.
The scouts refused.
They didn't share.
No! The scouts refused to give them any of the schnapps, continued drinking in front of them, set up a makeshift fortification around their barrels of schnapps.
They're embedding. That's their encampment now.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously, a brawl ensued.
Sure.
Not so obviously was the gunfire that ensued after that.
Uh-oh.
It escalated fairly quickly.
Between the scouts and the infantry
Yes, that's friendly fire. Unexpected.
for schnapps.
For schnapps. During the conflict, at some point, someone began shouting that the Turkish had arrived.
Oh no.
They had not, but it really freaked everybody out.
Okay.
So the scouts and some of the infantry fled the scene,
Sure.
thinking that the Turkish army had arrived. And when they approached the camp, some sentries there demanded that they halt. Halt!
Wait.
But they said it in German, which not everybody spoke. So they thought they were saying Allah! Allah! And so they opened fire on them.
Open fire on who?
The sentries of their own camp.
What the hell? Austria.
Yes.
Get your shit together.
So this army, the Austrian army, was comprised of, it was very diverse. It was a lot of different people. These were people from Serbia, Croatia, Italy,
Okay.
other people as well. They had some trouble understanding each other.
Sure.
So it was not clear who cried out, the Turkish are here. But like I said, the officers at the camp began shouting at them. They heard shouting, screaming, gunfire when they were fighting over the schnapps.
Right.
Then they started hearing people yelling, the Turkish, the Turkish. And then here are all of these forces, armed forces, running towards them. So they said, halt, halt. But apparently they said it in German. So to the people who didn't understand German, it sounded like Allah, Allah.
Which meant what?
It's the name of the Islamic god. They thought it was the Turkish. So anyway, they began artillery fire.
Artillery fire.
They took position behind their cannons and began to fire at the people shouting the name of Allah. Meanwhile, the entire camp awoke to the sound of battle, and the panic caused by the incident convinced all of them to just start firing blindly.
Fuck.
Many people ended up dying. Eventually, they withdrew from what they thought was a battle. 2 days later, the Ottoman army actually did arrive.
Ah. Okay.
Discovered many dead and wounded soldiers, so they easily overtook them.
Those fucking gypsies just had to sell some schnapps.
I bet you regret buying that schnapps.
Probably. So let me get this correct. Scouts go across the river.
Yeah,
They run into gypsies, purchase schnapps, begin
Yes.
drinking.
yeah. Barrels of it.
Infantry is now worried about scouts, so they go to scout on the scouts.
Mm-hmm.
They find the scouts. They begin fighting each other and then killing
Over
each
the
other
schnapps.
because they want schnapps.
Yeah.
Then someone shouts that the Turkish are there,
Mm-hmm.
and so they all stop fighting, turn, and run back to their camp that they were all just at very recently.
Yeah.
And then they just assumed that the camp was full of the Turkish, and the camp assumed that the Turkish were charging them, and so they all started killing each other.
Yeah. Yes. That's the gist.
That is insanely
it's-
unfortunate.
It's also alleged because there was a lot of confusion, you know? No one really knew what was going on.
Sure.
It's about how it sounded.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
the-
also a really big fuck up because
It's
that
a
caused
huge-
that caused them the war, I'm assuming.
I don't know. So yeah, the Battle of Karansibis is known as the bloodiest battle of an army accidentally killing itself.
Right. That was a rough day for the Austrians.
It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. We're moving to my last one.
I noticed, and I am scared.
You don't need to be scared.
Okay.
You weren't there.
Sure. Of course. When was this?
June 2nd, 1978.
Okay.
Japan Airlines Flight 115.
Okay.
It bounced heavily when it landed. Apparently, the pilot had over-flared. That means the nose went up a little too high, so when it landed, the tail struck the
tarmac.
The tarmac, yeah. It caused some damage.
Sure.
And injured a few people, several people actually. 2 of them seriously, you know,
Okay.
very jarring. And it did some serious damage. It's serious enough that it needed to be tended to before it could fly again.
Sure.
So Boeing technicians repaired it, and the aircraft was returned to service after that.
Do you know how long it took?
Didn't take that long.
We know today we don't trust Boeing.
However, the technicians for Boeing used 2 splice plates parallel to the crack in the hull of the plane.
Parallel?
Parallel,
Not perpendicular?
not perpendicular.
I would imagine that if they're gonna cover a crack in the hull, that it would be a perpendicular
You'd
one.
imagine if they were going to use 2 plates at all, instead of just one big one, that they would make it perpendicular.
Uh-huh.
That was not the choice they went with.
Interesting.
And in fact, cutting the plate the way that they did kind of negated the effectiveness of one of the rows of rivets they put into it. This was,
So they fucked it up even more.
it was literally against the code they were meant to follow.
Wow.
They fucked it up, seemingly thinking it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
I mean, so apparently that's just never changed because we don't trust Boeing today
I have
because their planes were just falling out of the sky recently.
Right.
And now apparently they didn't trust Boeing back then because their technicians were apparently very lazy.
So I do have a photo example for you. So up on top is how it's meant to be repaired, and right underneath that is what they chose to do instead. So these are the repairs correctly done. Bulkhead means the skin of the plane. That's the correct way.
Okay, that makes sense. That
Mhm.
looks like it would support.
Yes. This is the way they did it.
Huh.
What are you looking at there?
I'm looking. It doesn't even make sense. Why did they? First of all, they did the first plate wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like very clearly it is wrong. But then the second plate is just kind of there, and it doesn't make sense why
Right.
it's there at all.
Right.
If
So
anything, I would imagine that it's now adding more pressure in between those 2 plates.
it's a very strange choice.
Yeah.
Not sure why they went with that. And you guys can definitely look this up because just 7 years after that,
Oh, that's a good run for that shit job.
sure, 7 years after, the same plane, Flight 123,
Okay.
took off from Haneda Airport in Tokyo at 6:12 p.m.
Okay.
And 12 minutes after takeoff, at cruising altitude, it underwent rapid decompression.
Oh.
It burst, the ceiling collapsed near the rear of the plane, which damaged the entire body. The tail fin broke right off the back of it. The tail fin breaking off led to severing all 4 hydraulic lines. The captain and his co-pilot immediately broadcasted a distress signal and requested emergency landing. However, having lost all hydraulic pressure meant that they
couldn't even turn.
they couldn't
couldn't do
steer
anything.
for shit. They began to steer, and mid-steer, it stopped.
Those are some rough waters to crash into.
Yeah. Now, I guess
man.
where they were positioned and where they were able to turn, they had actually found a way to veer away from the Pacific Ocean back to shore.
Okay.
They were able to make it back to land, but they had completely lost control. There was no steering at all. So the captain ordered the co-pilot to descend.
Okay.
They were able, at least, like I said, to turn away from the ocean. Air traffic control had difficulty communicating with them also, because not too long after the hull, or like the outer layer of the plane, after it was breached, they lost a lot of oxygen because they were very high up. And because of the lack of oxygen, they were experiencing hypoxia, which is an effect that your body goes through where you get real loopy and kind of start to hallucinate a little bit.
They didn't have the oxygen bags fall down?
They did, but hypoxia had set in so fast they could not comprehend that that's what they had to do.
Oh no.
At least that's alleged. They could hear over the microphone through the radio, and they were able to record everything, that the captain had ordered the co-pilot to descend. But checking the plane afterwards, it never really did.
Descend?
Descend. Not properly. Instead, it began to erratically pitch up and fall nose down. Just over and over again. I guess that's called a phugoid cycle. And each one took 90 seconds. So it was like
a 90-second fly almost straight up, followed by a 90-second fly almost straight down?
No. Half of 90 seconds is
45 seconds.
Yeah, so 45 seconds up slow, 45 seconds straight down very fast. Gradually, they are getting closer to the ground this way.
Jesus.
While that's happening, they're also going through a Dutch roll, which is turning side to side and also teetering like a seesaw.
Oh my God.
So it's just Dad's worst nightmare on that plane right now. Despite hypoxia having setting into them hard enough that they just could not comprehend that the emergency oxygen masks were right there, and people were trying to get them to put them on. Like, I guess one of the engineers, it had occurred to him to say something, and they responded, but nothing ever happened, and like people on the radio couldn't get them to do it. They were somehow able to find a way to regain at least a little stability, and I guess the way they did that was they had fucked around with like the engine thrust.
Okay.
Eventually, hypoxia wore off, because the more they descend, the more oxygen there is. So eventually that wore off. And around this point, the information got very difficult for me to understand. It got very scientific.
Okay.
Essentially, they struggled to gain control of this plane for like 32 minutes straight.
Oh my God.
Battling hypoxia in the beginning, and then it having worn off, trying to continue to get control, but there had been so much damage, it just wasn't going to happen. They ended up crash landing on Mount Mikuni at 390 miles per hour.
So the whole thing just evaporated, right?
All 15 crew members and 505 of the 509 passengers died.
People lived?
4.
4 people lived?
4 people survived the wreckage afterwards. More survived the crash, but rescue was not able to get to them right away.
Oh my God.
Some of them died from their injuries stuck inside the wreckage. Over the next few hours, didn't survive the night, were dead by the morning. The Accident Investigation Commission calculated that the installation had been the cause, that faulty sort of repair.
Yeah.
They predicted that with an installation like that, the plane would only be able to undergo about 10,000, they called it pressurization cycles. I'm assuming that means getting very high up, where like the air pressure is like
immense.
Very intense, yeah. It would only be able to undergo about 10,000 of those. It underwent 12,318. So there were 12,318 successful flights over the course of 7 years, but that means, according to them, after 10,000, it could have been any of those that crashed.
Wow.
And it was that one that day.
Dude, oh my God. Your plane is crashing for 30 minutes in like apparently the most erratic way ever.
The worst way. Like there really isn't any recovering. You're trying at this point to save as many people as possible, knowing that most of them will die.
Yikes.
It gets worse.
How? How could that get worse? You just killed 500 people.
I'm not saying it gets worse than that. I'm saying it continues to get bad. So
for Boeing?
Rumors persist that Boeing admitted fault in order to cover up for the fact that this Japanese airline company had really been the reason this happened, because it was their repair.
Okay.
But they were a huge customer for Boeing, so they...
Where else are you going to go buy planes from?
Right.
Like there's Boeing and that is it.
Yeah. Now, JAL, Japanese Airlines, without, of course, admitting liability, paid $7.6 million to the relatives of the victims for condolence money.
Okay, that's sweet, I guess.
Not our fault, but here's some cash.
That's less than a plane costs, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
The JAL president resigned as a result of this terrible tragedy. The maintenance manager, who I'm fairly certain was the maintenance manager during the time of this faulty repair, as well as the engineer who inspected and cleared the aircraft as flightworthy after it, both of them honor killed themselves.
Oh, shit. Like with a sword?
I don't know.
Whoa. That's, first of all, terrible, but second, bad ass.
It's awful. All of it is
Wow.
all around awful, in my opinion.
They all should have honor killed themselves. That is insane.
So that's why I made a point to show you, like, just this repair here.
The
Like,
one
that doesn't
small
make a lot of
repair.
sense, and it did last a long time, but that's what it led to.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I would have been dead already in the plane. I didn't need to crash. I would have died in the plane
You just shit yourself, barfed, and then died.
and then just died. Are you kidding me? That 30 minutes of dropping and rising and dropping and rising while you're like flipping back and forth. Dude, I would be dead.
Yeah.
And then we'd crash and maybe my body could be salvaged
Can
or
you
something.
even imagine what those people went through? 4 of them survived all of that. 4 of them made it through.
That is nuts. God, why are you putting 500 people on a plane?
It was a big plane.
God, that is terrible.
Yeah.
That was a lot less chill than the Wendy's massacre.
I know.
God. Okay, well,
But that's why I made a point to say, I don't know, maybe some people will find it, like, might find the Wendy's massacre less chill because people killed people on purpose. In that one.
sure, but your plane had just over 500 people scared to death
Men, women, and children.
for 30 plus minutes
Mhm.
and then crash and all either die or maybe you lived and you're more than traumatized now, all because one person did a repair wrong and another person was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how
Wendy's
many-
was I think more chill than that one.
I don't know
Okay.
how many people it takes to repair something like that. However many it took, because of
Well,
that
even-
one faulty repair.
Even if it took
that
a team,
happened. Yeah.
one person is in charge of that.
Mhm.
One person fucked up that repair, and then another person looked at it and was like, yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
Oh man, brutal. That would suck so bad.
Now, I'm pretty sure that what I read was that when he inspected, that it was difficult, that he just didn't look closely. Whoever it was that inspected the repair didn't look too closely at it, but on a cursory sort of glance, it looked like it was done the proper way. Because the plate is supposed to be just one big plate, no cut in between.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like, if there's the hull of the aircraft overlaps,
Right?
there's supposed to be the repair splice in between those 2 layers that overlap.
Yes.
Because this piece came to this point, he said the cut that must have been in the splice plate was just a little bit behind that overlap, so it looked like it was one big plate. But he didn't look close enough. To the captain and co-pilot's credit, like, it wasn't their fault. And according,
I don't blame any of them.
sure, but the computer on the plane showed like all the mechanical changes and decisions and commands they made throughout the course of the flight. When it was crashing,
I get
they
it.
were working to get
Originally-
control all the way to impact.
Yeah, I get it. Originally, they would have crashed into the ocean, and every single person would have definitely died.
Right.
So, managed to save 4 people. Still, that is brutal.
You did everything you could.
Yeah, fuck you, Boeing. Never trusted you. There's a documentary on Netflix or on HBO.
It was
or
a
Netflix.
747.
That was the case against Boeing,
Mm-hmm.
and about how they're just the shittiest fucking corporation ever.
Right.
I gotta watch it. Okay, let's do a final wheel spin and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
Got the TJ wheel. This is the last wheel spin of this episode. Ready?
Yes.
You just escaped jail. Did you escape crawling through sewage lines or swimming the shark-infested freezing waters?
Sewage.
Ugh. Went through the sewage?
I'm not gonna go in freezing murky water full of
Sharks.
things with sharp teeth that will eat me. I'm not doing that.
I don't think I have what it takes to do either one, if we're being real.
Just stay prison.
Yeah, I just stay in jail.
I'll just stay in prison.
No, I'd imagine that if I am escaping jail, that it is in some, like, big, like, crazy fashion, you know? Like, I start a prison riot, and, like, there's like a war, and
Jacob, that is not an option.
Listen, we managed to get guns, and we're firing at the guards, and they're firing at us.
Yeah.
And then while I let all my minions fight, I am doing the real escaping.
Sure.
And
How?
do I go through the sewer, or do I swim through the waters, the shark-infested, freezing waters?
Freezing, murky, shark-infested waters.
You know, I mean, it's disgusting, but I would probably do the sewer too, I guess, because
it's stinky, but you're not going to die inside it.
well, I don't think that I'm the strongest swimmer. I think we just had this conversation not too long ago, and I don't think I would make it swimming, especially if the water was really cold. I like my water. I like my pool to be like 80 degrees. You know.
Right.
Also, not a big fan of sharks.
I'm a huge fan of sharks.
Yeah, I don't want to swim
I
with
just
sharks.
don't want to get eaten by any of them. And I hate the idea of being snuck up on in murky waters.
Would buy a shark,
Anything. By anything.
like a big shark,
Sure.
small shark.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't want anything to touch me in murky water. In fact, I don't ever want to be in murky water.
How do you? It didn't say it was murky. It said it was freezing and shark infested.
I'm imagining it's very murky,
Why would it be murky? Sharks don't like murk,
but they're in it all the time.
are they? I guess I haven't watched Shark Week in like 6 years.
I have. I watched it this summer.
You're very caught up on your Shark Week.
Yeah, I subscribe to Discovery Plus.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe-
basically I'm an expert.
Maybe you need to share it so that I can catch up, and then we can
Sure.
decide who's in the murkiness or not. So I mean, there's decided. We're both going through the fucking sewer.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I'd rather be covered in shit than eaten by a shark.
Yes, I would too, I guess. But that's still so gross.
I'd crawl on all fours and squish my knees and my hands, my open hands, into like full turds and everything.
Yeah.
Piss and turds and everything.
A tampon floats right past you.
Yes. I'll squish that on the way.
A prison tampon.
It's the kind with no string. You really got to dig it out.
Yeah. Shit, you got to use some pliers or something.
That's a real kind, you know.
Ew, that's gross. Why are you fucking digging for gold on your period? God, we are disgusting. And by we, I mean humans. Disgusting. Well, that is the end of this episode.
Yes.
If you enjoyed listening to our beautiful voices, please like, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. You can share this podcast with absolutely anyone. You can go to the Bingo Club. You can go
Share it with anyone who would enjoy it. Enjoy a good laugh and some dark humor, because you know what? Not everybody is into it, you know?
Right.
I don't know about you, but I have already recommended this to people I thought would enjoy it,
Uh-huh.
and they did not.
Well, you never know. Maybe you can share it with the cart attendants at your local grocery store.
Right. Maybe some people out there will enjoy it, you know? And it would be doing us a great favor to recommend it to people because, you know, we're small beans right now. We're trying to work our way up.
Also, go ahead and check out our website, 3shotsin.com. You do have to spell the word 3, but 3shotsin.com. Once you're there, you will see a link that will take you to our Patreon page where you can become a patron.
Yes, and have access to our special exclusive podcast called 3 Shot Cinema. It's a lot of fun. We have a blast. The reviews of it are fantastic.
They're stunning.
Stunning
Honestly.
reviews. All 5-star.
And the next movie that we'll be watching for 3 Shot Cinema, I think, is going to be, was it Tammy? Is that what won?
Tammy and the T-Rex?
Yeah,
Did
Tammy
it win?
and the T-Rex. I think that's the one that I saw winning the
Ooh,
poll.
We're going to have to check the poll again.
This most recent poll had the most votes than any other poll we've had, so we're
Okay.
getting bigger.
Okay.
Getting bigger.
And please join us on Instagram at 3 Shots In Podcast. We go live most weekends. We would love for you to join us there and stay up to date on everything that we've got going on. This has been another episode of 3 Shots In.
And next week, the topic will be fitness.
Fitness.
Fitness, like can you fitness dick in your...
I was about to do the same.
Are you about to? Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun with fitness.
It's going to be great.
Yes. All right, we will Not see you. We will talk to you then.
You can just say see.
All right,
Everyone
whatever.
knows what
Anyway,
it means.
Shut up. All right. What? Why are you laughing at me?
Shut up.
Shut up. Jessica, shut up. Thank you for listening. We're going to go now.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Have you seen that video of this, like, I don't know, she looks like a hipster chick, and she's like, hey you guys, she's filming herself, I just found eucalyptus, and you hear in the background, eucalyptus dick. Eucalyptus dick.